Good afternoon. It's another sunny day in eastern Michigan here, and it's February, but it's really not the typical February that we were used to. And I hope you're doing well. I wanted to say a few things about scoffers and make some comments about that, because ever so often you will find yourself dealing with a person who seems to be so antagonistic to religion, and oftentimes it's the Christian religion. And I was talking to some online recently, and one man said, if you can show me just one place where the Bible proved to be true, I will believe your religion. Now, I no more believe that than the man in the moon, that if I show him something, such as, for example, the prophecies about the resurrection of Jesus and the fact of his resurrection, consequently, do I really believe that he's going to somehow make a drastic change in his life? I'm skeptical, to say the least. Rather, I think he's misanthropic, and he's a skeptic. He's a scoffer. And let me read a passage or two here from Proverbs about scoffers. The book of Proverbs in the Old Testament has a lot to say about people who just jeer and scoff and are not really seekers of truth. It says in, for example, Proverbs 14, a scoffer seeks wisdom in vain, but knowledge is easy for a man of understanding. Leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not meet words of knowledge. A scoffer seeks wisdom in vain. He's not, she's not, no matter what they purport to be after, they're not truly seeking after knowledge and spiritual understanding and truth. This is ironic because so many nowadays seem to be seekers of something, seekers of spirituality, seekers of ultimate truth, seekers of an explanation of all things, whatever it might be. And they claim to be people who are truly intelligent and intellectual, and they read quite a bit, so they say. And again, they're interested in the truth. But many a time you will find, and I'm sure you have, that there are those who claim to be interested in truth, but they're really simply just playing a game with you. They're playing a game in order to, I think oftentimes, assuage their own consciences. Because we don't like to think of ourselves as being absolutely closed. We prefer to think of ourselves as open-minded, right, and free-thinking. And again, oftentimes, that's just simply a guise. It's not really the case. Again, what does the Bible say? But knowledge is easy for a man of understanding. You know, someone who's truly seeking after God and seeking after the truth of God and wanting to know Jesus and what he really stood for, and they want to apply that to their lives. It's interesting how, again, when those kinds of people read the Bible, it all just seems to come to them. The Spirit of God teaches them. The word of truth comes to them. And they have believed the good news, the good report about Jesus and his salvation. And they continue to seek after the truth oftentimes. And it comes easy to them. And it goes on to say in Proverbs 14:7, leave the presence of a fool. Quit wasting your time. I have to tell myself this over and over again. I don't get into lengthy discussions with people. I might make a remark to them, or I think it's probably more profitable to ask a question, throw it back in their court. But to go on and to go hours and hours discussing this and that point when, for the most part, they are probably not truly interested in changing their lives. And one question you could ask, I had a friend mention this to me, and he has used this with some who were very skeptical. He said, if I could show you beyond question that Jesus was who he claimed to be, would you change your life? the last person he asked that said no, then the obvious question which follows is, then why am I bothering to tell you anything? Because you're not going to change. We change when we want to change. People do what they want to do. There are those who will seek after truth and God, and many who will not, even though they purport to be seekers of truth. Leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not meet words of knowledge. You say, well, there are intellectuals in higher education who do not believe in God, many scientists who do not believe in God. Are we saying they have no knowledge? Well, I think the idea there is they have no true spiritual understanding. They may understand scientific information. They may understand historical sequences of events. But do they really have the wisdom of God? Do they know God? A fool says there is no God, which could be paraphrased by saying, the fool says, no God. I don't want you, God. And no matter what they tell you, their ears are plugged. They've turned you off. And they simply want to make you look stupid. So why engage again? Leave the presence of a fool. A fool is, in the Bible, a worthless fellow. A person who, again, is stupid morally. Maybe smart intellectually, but stupid morally. Stupid in the things of God. Childish and inane. And are not interested, again, in what really matters in life. These are just some thoughts I was thinking today, and perhaps even you are, again, dealing with some people, maybe even in your own family, and you just keep trying and trying and trying to get through to them. Well, God has to get through to them. You can't do it, and God will allow them to choose the course that they wish to go down. We can continue to pray, and if God gives us opportunity to speak, we speak. But it's senseless to wear ourselves out and engaging with people who simply like to throw rocks at us. Blessings to you. Hope that was helpful to you today. I welcome any comments, and again, subscribe if you haven't already, and peace to you this day.